All right, so I have resumed recording. We're going to record this one. We forgot to record the one on Monday. Um, if you are here for the town hall for the 2024 National Elementary Championship, you are in the right place. So my name is Pete Karianis. I am the US Chess Assistant Director of Events. And I organize and run these national championship tournaments along with the Director of Events, Boyd Reed. On the call with me today, we have our Chief TD, Myron Thomas, and also our Floor Chief, Tom Langland.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining, guys. So the agenda is very simple. We're going to go through three things mainly. Number one, we're going to go through the tournament website, talk about its functionality and what you can find there that's useful. I want to highlight a few things in particular. So that's the first thing we're going to look at today. Second thing we're going to look at is the actual playing site. So we'll take a look at the local map of the playing site so you guys can kind of see where we're going to be once we get to Columbus. And then third and finally, I'm going to walk you guys through a few more highlights from the New to Nationals guide and discuss those as well. Before we get going, quick check. Tom, Myron, you guys can see my elementary championship webpage, correct?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to draw your guys' attention to a few functional things on the website. The website is very functional, has a lot of useful information on there and important stuff. It's not the prettiest, but it's extremely functional and useful. So I want to highlight a few things that are really critical to know. The first is this upper left-hand menu. Okay, the most common question we get by far leading up to an event from parents, from participants is, am I good to go? Am I registered? What's going on? Okay, is everything okay? Well, it's very simple to check that. Once you have registered for the event, your registration is updated immediately in the advanced entries page, and I'll show everyone what that looks like. So again, advanced entries, upper left-hand menu. It shows everyone who has entered for the tournament. Okay, you'll notice that up here, there's also the results and pairings, but the advanced entries is where you can check if you have registered or not. Now, of course, as I open it, it is not loading. Let's see if it'll go through. Here we go. It shows the teams that have registered, 608 teams. Okay, shows the total number of players overall. You can check your registration by section or by last name. Okay, so if you want to check, for example, my last name starts with a K, I would click on K. I would find my name, which of course is not here. They don't let me play in these anymore. I'm too old. And I could check my section. My grade is here. My rating, my name, my US Chess ID number, and my team code, my team and team code and state. Okay. So if you're worried about your registration, hey, did everything go through? Did everything look okay? Here's where you check that, advanced entries. Okay. If there is any problem whatsoever, let's say you check your entry and you say, wait a second, hold on, that's the wrong team code. I go to a different school. Okay, no big deal. I'm going to publish this in the chat as well. You want to use this email, nationalevents@uschess.org. That is your contact email for any problems or questions pre-event in terms of, I checked my registration, oops, something's not right, okay? nationalevents@uschess.org. Email that. Don't email me directly. I might be traveling. I might be on my way to the event. I might miss it, okay? Use that one. It's monitored by multiple personnel. All right. Also in that upper left-hand menu, another important function is you'll note the results and pairings, okay? We do publish the pairings online, so you can check your pairing online. You don't have to crowd around a pairing board at the hotel on site. Of course, if I open that up right now, it's not going to look like much because the tournament hasn't started yet. We haven't paired any rounds. But you can see here pairings. You can find your section. Okay, I'm in the K6 under 1400. Again, it's empty because the tournament hasn't started yet. But it's very simple to navigate. You find your section, and it will show your name, board number, etc. Right? In fact, I'll give a quick example of that from the recently concluded high school championships in Baltimore. We go there, you can see what it will look like. So these are, of course, results because the tournament is over, but we could check the final round pairings too. Board one, here's who's playing who, and so on and so forth. Okay. So again, very functional. You can look at the results, you can look at the standings. Here's the standings from that event. And you can look at the pairings there also. Okay. All right, moving on. Pre-event advanced entries, that's where you check to make sure you're good to go. On site during event, results and pairings, that's where you check to see who you're playing, what board you're at, etc. Right there, okay? A couple of things, general points. Travel to the event. Okay, now we have 4 main hotels. We have an overflow hotel. Right now, I believe they're all or almost all completely sold out. Unfortunately, Columbus Airport has an Air Connect service that is usually wonderful. It gets you right downtown to the convention center. It's only like $2.50. The bad news is it's not working. They're repairing it. It's under construction. So Air Connect is currently down. That means it's going to be a little trickier to get from the airport to your hotel. Probably going to have to just take an Uber, okay? Because the Air Connect service is down. It is not running. As of yesterday, I checked it. It is still not back up, right? However, we do have, if you are driving to the event, we do have a discount parking ticket. Okay, so I just want to draw your attention to that. If you're driving, I strongly encourage you to use this because if you don't, by the time you get there, it'll be almost twice as much. Okay. Of course, the individual hotels, if you are staying at one of those, they also have garages and valet services that you can avail yourself of. But if you just want to drive to the convention center and park there, use our discount because it's twice as much if you get there. A couple other important things on the main website, as well as functional things. Sections are posted here. Schedules are posted here. The schedule is right here, actually. The rounds are all, that's when the round starts. And they're not going to start before that. So as long as you're there by 1 p.m., you'll be there for round 1. And so on and so forth. Note, please, that the round times are different for the K1 and for all other sections. Okay. Awards list. When I'm scrolling down to here, the next really important thing I want to draw your attention to, actually, I don't want to skip over this. Awards. If you win an award, if you win a trophy, there's a claim form. Okay. Let's say you won something, but you had an early flight and you had to get back out of town. You couldn't stick around for your trophy to pick it up at the awards ceremony. You can use the shipping form right here that we publish on the website. Trophies Plus will ship it to you directly. There's a simple form to fill out, and you can also estimate the shipping costs as well. Okay, so that's a service that's available also on the website. We also have early trophy pickup. So as soon as the final standings are published and finalized online, you can visit Chess Control. We'll talk about that a little bit more and pick up your trophy early if you're in that sort of situation. Okay, next thing I want to point out is the schedule. Okay, I think I passed it. Let me pull back up here. Yes. Schedule of events. I have this tab open on my phone all the time during the weekend. Okay, it tells you where everything is and when. Okay, looks like this. Now, you'll notice each event that is happening is listed along with the day, the start, and the end. Okay. So this is actually the wrong link. These look like the Baltimore locations. We'll get this one updated. And it even says 23. So I think I might need to clear my cache. But this is what the schedule of events will look like. Okay, and we'll have a correct one posted. It's also possible that I'm just loading one from last year because I have these tabs open all the time. Schedule of events posted there. Next thing posted right by that is the US Chess Scholastic Regulations. This covers the rules for the event, how it is to be run. Okay, Scholastic Regulations are here, 23-24. That's the ones we're using. And you'll also notice that any changes from previous rules are highlighted for you, so you can skip right to them if you've already reviewed these and you just want to know, hey, is there anything new? What's new? By all means, okay? Scholastic Regulations are posted online as well. couple other functional things from the main page. Again, prizes, awards, all posted there. Schedules posted there. Playing locations, we're going to take a look at the map so I can show you exactly where those are in the map. Posted on the main website. This is a big one. Because the elementary event, we have a lot of young players. We strongly encourage you, for your young players, set a meeting point with them. Okay? When the games begin, our playing floor is closed. It is only open to players who have a game in progress. Once their game ends, they have to leave the playing floor, and to tournament staff who have badges like this. I'm wearing one example of one of our badges. It's right here. Hopefully you guys can catch that. We only issue badges to official staff or people with an official presence at the event. Okay. Everyone else, parents, coaches, friends, etc., when the games begin, you have to leave the playing hall. Okay. So, to help you reconnect with your player, especially we know these are younger players, we have a color-coded exit system. Players will depart to the exit associated with the color they are assigned. We have red, white, blue, and black. Okay. These exits will be marked very clearly with banner so that parents waiting outside can see, okay, there's the black exit. My child is playing in the K6 under 1400. I need to wait. My child will be exiting over there. Okay. And so on and so forth. You can see each section associated with an exit is labeled on the website. Even so, I still strongly encourage you to set a meeting point with your player. Let them know where they can find you when their game is over. This is really, really helpful and useful. There will be a lot of players. There will be a lot of parents and coaches. Set a meeting point. Let them know where to go. Okay, you're going to leave the black exit. You're going to meet me right here, for example. Okay. Set a meeting point for your players. And I will show you where, again, we're going to look at the maps. You can see where some of this stuff actually is on site. And I'll also drop the map link in the chat, so you'll have an opportunity to review that before the event, okay? I do see a question, good question. I will answer that at the end, so save all your questions for the end of the presentation because a lot of them are going to get answered as we go through it, okay? Including that. I believe that's it for this page. Just want to draw your attention. We do have two wonderful grandmasters joining us. They're going to be there for some side events. All of the side events are open and free except for the Simul. The Simul is already full. So every other event, we have Take All Comers Blitz, where anyone, literally anyone, parents, moms, dads, you guys can do this too. Coaches, you can do this too. Take on all comers. Anybody who wants to play a Grandmaster in a game of Blitz, you can do that. Here's the time. The time and location will be posted on that schedule I alluded to earlier. They will be giving lectures themed towards kids and younger players. Anyone is welcome to attend. These are free. These are for you guys. They're just a really nice addition to the event. And we have two wonderful grandmasters joining us, Irina Krush and Mezgin Amanov, both very knowledgeable, both very personable. I think they're going to be an excellent addition to the event. Also, starting round 5, we will have Twitch commentary. This is live commentary on the top games by Grandmaster Caden Troff and Women's Grandmaster Sabina Foyser. It's twitch.tv/US Chess. Feel free to bookmark that if you want. And all of the live games from the top sections will be broadcast with commentary by these two grandmasters. They're a great team. They actually did our US Open for us last year. They streamed that, and it was a real pleasure to watch them. Okay, let's take a look at the playing hall. That is not what I meant to open. Let's take a look at the playing hall, and we can talk about where some of these things are, and you can actually see exactly where they're going to be. Now, again, I want to show you guys here. The playing hall, where everything is happening, is listed right here. Okay, so we're going to look at Battelle Grand and Union Station so you can get a good idea of what those look like. So here's the Columbus Convention Center area. It's right downtown. And if we zoom in a bit, okay, you can kind of see what is here. And we'll start with Union Station right here, okay? Union Station ballrooms is where we're going to have the K1 event, so our very young players. kindergarten, and first graders. Okay. You still see the tournament info on the screen. Do you guys see the map or the tournament info?
See the map?
See the map? Myron, how about you? Map, okay, so maybe it's just taking a second for it to update for some of you guys. Union Station Ballroom is where the K1 players will be. They're going to be using A and B, and the parent waiting area will be in Union Station C. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the parent waiting area in a little bit, but I just want to show you how the layout works so you can get an understanding that we take safety for our K1 players very seriously. The parent waiting area is right here. They will be with staff the entire time until they rejoin the parents. This is an air wall. This dotted line is an air wall. So we will have a little door there where they can walk through with the director and find their parents and rejoin them. And then you'll get to see some pictures of what that actually looks like in a minute. Exhibit Hall A over here, that is our Skittles room. A Skittles room is a large open room with lots of activities in it. T-shirt vendor, bookstore, some of the guest grandmaster stuff is going to be in Exhibit Hall A. It's kind of like a hub for the tournament. This is also a perfect place to set a meeting point with your child to meet up after the game. It's easy to find. There's a ton of stuff going on there. There's tons of seating. We're not going to run out of seating. And it's open to anyone. Okay, there'll be tables and chairs set up. You can just set your stuff down, hang out there. Your kid can rejoin and find you if they are not in K1. K1, you go to the parent waiting area for K1. Everybody else, Exhibit Hall A is a good meeting spot. Okay. I'm going to pull up the Battelle Grand here. So one of the cool things about this map is, if you guys can see this, it's searchable. And you can look for exactly what you're looking for, and it'll show you where it is. So Battelle Grand is right here. This is the main playing hall. And you can see a picture of it over here on the left. You can also see a picture of it in Myron's background. So Myron Thomas's background there, our Chief TD's background, is what the playing hall looks like. It's actually pretty cool. It does have a second floor balcony for observation. That is going to be closed also. No one will be allowed in there. And the main playing hall here is where our participants will play their chess games. So if you're in K3 through K6 sections, you will be playing in the Battelle Grand. Okay. So this is where those players will be. Other things, there's a really cool, for food, there's tons of food options. There's food options within the hotel, within the convention center. And nearby, there's also a ton of food options. Convention center does have a no outside food or drink policy. Please be aware of that. If you bring in a granola bar or like an individual, sandwich or something, they're probably not going to say anything. If you bring in 10 pizzas from Pizza Hut, they're going to get real mad. So be reasonable with what you choose to bring into the convention center in terms of food. Okay, they have food provided there that you can avail yourself of, as do the connected hotels. But if you order 30 pizzas to your team room at the convention center, they're going to be pretty upset. So don't do that. Okay. All right. Moving on. If you have never been to one of our events, please check this out. It's really great. Our publications department put it together. I'm going to drop the link in chat right now. Okay. This is it's called our New to Nationals guide. And it has a lot of really great information generally about how national events are run and things to know, things to be aware of. So I really strongly encourage you to check it out if you've never seen it before. I'm going to go through some of the key points. So a lot of the stuff we've touched on already. I'm going to return to some of that and also introduce some new stuff. Number one, behavior and spectator guidelines. You're welcome to read them. We really don't want to ever have to remove someone from an event. So please review them, be aware of them. Big thing here is that the tournament hall is closed during play. As I already stated, parents, coaches will have to leave when the round starts. So set a meeting point with your child. Very important. Safe play. All of our staff, anyone with an official presence at the event, has been safe play trained and safe play certified. Okay, if you want to read more about what that is, you can do so here. Any staff member who that counts for will be wearing one of these really cool yellow pins that I have on their staff badges. Okay, so you'll know who to talk to if you have a safe play issue or a safe sport issue. you can find someone with a yellow badge and they will know where to direct you, okay? Chess control, this was alluded to before as well. Chess control is where you go on site with any question at all. So you're in Columbus, you're in the convention center, you're in one of the hotels, something comes up, you have a question, you have a concern, go to chess control. If they cannot answer your question, they will know who to direct you to, okay? So 9 times out of 10, they'll just solve it for you right there. If you have something that needs sort of sent up the chain, they will know exactly where to get it to get you the assistance that you need, okay? It will always be outside or near the playing hall, and it will always have these very large banners that say chess control. They're very easy to find, very friendly, helpful people, and they will help you solve whatever problem you may be having at that moment, okay? So if you're on site, if the tournament is underway, don't email us. Might not see it in time. Go to chess control, okay? Go to chess control with the pro. Scholastic regulations, I talked about and linked those. Cell phones and other devices. So Yang, you had a question. We will answer that question now. Your player might want to bring their cell phone with them so that they can call you when their game is over and find you. That's perfectly acceptable. However, while their game is going on, and until they leave the playing hall with a completed game, their cell phone or smartwatch or any electronic device must be turned off and put away. Not in their pocket, not in the pocket of their jacket or coat, put away, okay? They can put it away in their chest bag, or Myron, do you prefer face down or face up on the table? You're muted, Myron. Myron, you are muted.
I think the rule
There
is
we
face
go.
up, but I'm gonna check that and we'll announce it before the round.
Okay, so players will know. All right. So cell phones, electronic devices need to be turned off and put in a chest bag is fine, or left on the table in plain view. They need to be turned off. If they go off or are on, a penalty will be assessed. It will either be a time penalty or in some cases forfeiture. If they leave it in their jacket and accidentally go into the bathroom with their phone in their jacket, Tom, what's going to happen?
Not good things will happen with that. So definitely do not let remind your kids, do not go to the bathroom with your phone in your hand or anything else like that. You're subject to just immediately forfeiting the game right there.
Correct. Okay, and we don't want to have to forfeit anyone for a cell phone or electronic device penalty. That would be, Tom and Myron can both tell you, that's the last thing we want to do at a tournament. Just have to hand out a forfeit loss because of an electronic device policy. So keep them off your person while you're playing your game. When your game is over, don't turn it on and call your parent right away. You're going to get penalized for that too, because there are other games still going on in the playing hall. Okay, keep it off until you leave the playing hall. As soon as you go outside the exit doors, feel free to turn it back on and resume. Okay, we don't want to have to give out any cell phone penalties. Once the round starts and until you leave the playing hall, the electronic device should be turned off and put away. Simple policy. No gray area, no middle ground. Okay. Now I saw a question about AirTags. AirTags are perfectly okay to have on your child so that you can locate them. Okay. There are some brands that make noise or beep or go off. Don't use those. Okay. But an AirTag that simply tracks the location of your child is perfectly acceptable. Okay, a couple other things here. Result slips. This is a big one. A result slip is the only record we have of what happened during your child's game. It is the only record we have of the result of the game. You can help your child fill it out, except for, of course, the result and the signature. That needs to happen at the end of the game, not before. But while you are waiting for the round to start, you can help your child fill out round, board, section, name, and school. Totally fine. If your child has a problem or a concern, they need to have it resolved before the result slip is signed. Once we have a fully complete, signed, and finished result slip, that result is more than likely not changing at all. Okay? So if they have an issue at any moment, During the event, just raise your hand. We have lots of staff. We have very experienced directors. They will come over and they will assist you with whatever that may be. Okay. The way it works at the end of the game, and Myron will explain this in the announcements. The way it works at the end of the game is the players raise their hands, wait for the directors to come over. The directors will confirm the result. They'll say, white player, do you agree that this is the result? Do you agree it was a draw? Okay, yes. Black player, do you agree it was a draw? Okay, yes. Great. I see I have a signed result sheet. We both agree it was a draw. Please reset your board and leave the playing hall. Game's over. And so we confirm the result with both players. Both players sign the result slip and turn it in. I've heard multiple stories about, well, you know, he actually won the game. He said he won, but once we have a signed result slip, if there was no complaint lodged at the time, that result is final. Okay. Notation requirement. In this event, not all sections need to notate. Notation is required in K3 championship section and all K5 and K6 sections. It is not required in any other K3 section or K1 section. But if your child is playing in K3 championship or any K5 or K6, they must notate. Now, we will provide notation sheets for them. These are the only notation sheets they are allowed to use. They cannot bring in their own notation sheets or scorebooks. They must use our official score sheets that we provide to them, a clean sheet at the beginning of each round. Please bring writing utensils, pen, pencil, crayon, whatever you prefer, something legible. Please bring writing pencils to notate with. But notation sheets, we will provide those. Okay, you do not need to, you not only do you not need to, but you will not be permitted to use your own notation sheet. Okay, only writing utensils. We encourage you to notate if your child is in the K1 section or the other K3 sections, not championship sections. You are encouraged to notate because notation provides a record of the game. For example, in the scenario we were just discussing, where one player has a dispute or a problem, it's much easier for our directors to resolve that problem if there is notation. The player raises his hand and one of our directors comes over and the player says, he moved his rook from A8 to B7, and you can't do that. And the other player says, well, actually, my rook was on A7. Well, the way we can figure out which is correct is by looking at the record of the game, the notation of the game. So if there is a notation sheet, it's much more likely that that situation will get resolved quickly and correctly. If there is no record of the game, our directors are in a much tougher spot, okay?
Pete,
Yes.
just one thing, if your player is K3, but playing in a K5 or K6 section, that
Gotta
player
notate.
is required to take notation.
Correct. If they're K1 and playing in a K5 or K6 section, they got to notate.
Notation is required.
If they're K1 and playing in the K3 championship, notation is required. The requirement is a section requirement, not an age or grade requirement. If you play in the K3 championship section or any K5 or K6 section, regardless of your grade, you are required to notate. We do have a beginner notation sheet available. So it's right here in the document. Looks like this. You can just circle the piece, circle the square letter, circle the square numbers. So if I moved rook A4, I would circle the rook, I would circle A, I would circle 4, bam, I notated. This is available in the new player guide that I linked in chat. So if you want to go there, download it, and print some off for your player to practice with, please do. Be our guest, okay? Absolutely, go right ahead. Again, that's right here. You can just click this and download the notation sheet that I just pulled up. And that's available for your use. We talked about player list pairings and standings. Food and drinks. If you want to bring a snack into the playing hall, this is a bit outdated. We are now allowing food and drinks. Bottled water, Gatorade, things like that are totally okay. Small, not messy snacks are okay. We do have players at every event with nut allergies. Please do not bring any food or drinks that has nuts in it into the playing hall. okay? Please also don't bring like spaghetti and meatballs into the playing hall, like an entire meal, okay? If you want to bring a small snack and a bottle of water, totally acceptable. Okay, as long as it's reasonable and not going to make a big mess, doesn't contain nuts. Please do not bring anything with nuts into the playing hall. Award ceremony, we touched on this. There is an early awards pickup if you need to leave. The award ceremony will be conducted as quickly as possible after the last round standings are finalized. It will be in the ballroom where your child played their event. Side events, we touched on this. We do have a Blitz and Bughouse event. Registration for those is open all the way through the day of the event. We also have, of course, the guest grandmasters who will be there, which I mentioned. Team rooms have been assigned, so if you requested a team room for the event, your team has already been assigned it. We do have a couple left, so if your team is still looking for one, I think we have 1 or 2 left. Skittles room, let's see. We mentioned this. This is a waiting area. A great place to set as a meeting point for you and your child. K1. Here's what I was discussing here, right? So the players, when they begin their game, they'll get this wristband that you can write your name and phone number on. You can help them fill out their result slip too. Some photos of that happening. When their game is over, a director will take them to a holding area. Okay? The parent waiting area is on the other side of the ballroom. Once we can match up the player in the holding area with the parent in the parent waiting area, one of our staff members will escort the player to that parent. So we maintain guidance over them throughout the entire process and get them safely back to you if they're in the K1 area. You can see the air wall that I mentioned earlier. I'll just leave the playing hall through that air wall with our director and go to the parent waiting area. Again, I'll just show that on the map one more time. Let me bring up Union Station here. There we go, Union Station Ballroom. So Union Station Ballroom is down here. Here's that air wall that will be up. Players will be playing in here. Parents will be waiting in here. Once their game is complete, you'll see them pass right through the air wall into the parent waiting area. And that's pretty much it. I encourage you guys, again, I've linked everything in the chat. So the email that is in the chat, nationalevents@uschess.org. If you have any more questions, use that. Any problems, use that. Once you get on site, don't use that, go to ChessControl. Please feel free to check out the new player guide. The new player guide is available. I linked it in the chat as well. It's also available on the tournament website, which is where you registered for the event, most likely. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up to any questions you guys might have. So if you do have questions about the event, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. Yang, I do see your question, so I'll start with that one. The issue with your plan is that the Blitz registration closes, and I'm going to just show you the Blitz schedule. On-site registration for that event closes at 4 p.m. Unless you can get there by 4 p.m., which it doesn't look like you can since your flight lands at 4 p.m., it's unlikely that you would be able to register for the Blitz in time. You could register online. Yes, that would be fine. If you register online and try to make it there by 5, that would be acceptable, yeah. But registration on site closes at 4. Any other questions? Now is the time if you do have some that we didn't cover. How long do the award ceremonies last? Karen, that's a good question. We try to expedite them and get through them as quickly as we can because we know people have flights to catch. Usually they go about an hour. The younger the crowd, typically the longer it will take. So with the little kids, it can push past that hour mark. So the honest answer to your question is it varies, but we do try to expedite them and get through them as quickly as we can. I do want to let everyone know that the recording of this town hall will be posted on our YouTube channel and the website. So if you need to review anything again, or if you have friends and family or other teammates who didn't watch it or weren't able to be here, you can let them know that they can watch the replay and see all of the useful information that we covered. So Myron, Tom, any final thoughts before I close this down?
No, I think you covered everything.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for being here, guys. I will see you both in Columbus, and everyone else, I'll see you in Columbus next week. We look forward to seeing you there. Have a safe trip. And again, if you do have any questions, nationalevents@uschess.org. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.